Every decision in life is a risk. Will you bet on yourself for the ultimate reward, or will you fold and play it safe? The stakes are higher in 2025, and I'm going all in on myself. My focus is poker, golf, and investing. It's time to play the game of life without holding back. When it comes to steadily investing in a company 401k or blue chip stocks and building wealth slowly over time, or trading options where swings can be hundreds to thousands of dollars in a matter of minutes, I've done it all. So here we go, jumping into our 2025 777 challenge. We're going to try to spin up the balance from Robinhood. All right, for our first session, we're going to jump into some trading this morning. Today is February 5th. It is almost 9:30, so we're going to hop on in. Again, I know this is the $700 bankroll challenge. As you can see, our current buying power is only $663, so I just want to back up a little bit and show. I just wanted to test this out a little bit before I launched these challenges, so I did start about 3 months ago. I don't know why this registers as $746 that we started with, but it was $700 even that I had put in here, and kind of tested my hand at some day trading and stuff. Obviously, pretty quickly here, we built it up to $1,123 bankroll. Came back down below our starting balance at 675, then rebounded back to around 1100, even made it up to almost 1300. Then I made a few pretty bad trades in a row, really went back to 900, then kind of got myself back to 1195, and then had a couple really bad days where we went down to 670, so we were below starting balance again. So really was kind of kicking myself at that point, but we were able to climb out with 4 straight days with $200 trades, where we came back up to 1,241 and then actually had another good day. We sent our highest ending day balance on January 21st at 1,439, and then the very next day I went ahead and made some of the worst trades that I have made. I bought 3 0 days to expiration puts, which are super aggressive. They're very much like gambling, so you have to get the direction the market's going to go. I tried to double down once I bought one position, and as you can see, we lost $800 in one day. So we only started with 700. I was able to lose 800 in one day and was just below starting balance. So it was nice that we were ahead, but obviously we lost all that in one day. So we're just trying to kind of get back to that point. We did get back to 1,000 after that, and then back down right now to around the $600 mark. The last couple of days we've had some small wins. So, it's kind of been a roller coaster ride. Although every time I kind of get back around the $600-700 mark, I become a little bit more conservative, make smaller trades that I know are going to win, and we've been able to build that balance back up. So hopefully our goal is to get back over this $1,439 ending day balance. We've got to try to beat that. So we need to end at least one day at like $1,500, and then I'll feel pretty good about the direction that we're moving. And then hopefully from there we don't make the $800 loss trade and we will be good. So we'll see what we want to do for today. I've been kind of browsing this as kind of my watch list over here on the side. As you can see, pretty standard stuff. So we got SPY, which is the S&P 500 index fund, QQQ, which is the NASDAQ fund, SQQQ, which is a short of the NASDAQ fund. So it's just an inverse fund. So as the QQQ goes up, this will go down and vice versa. Obviously, we have NVIDIA on here. We have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Broadcom, Tesla, Google, Meta, Netflix. QBTS, this is a smaller quantum computing stock that I've been watching. I made a few plays on. SoundHound AI, that's one of the ones that's gotten some pretty good traction over the last couple of months here with all of the quantum computing and AI stocks that have been going off. Lunar, Carvana, I don't know what's up with this thing. This thing is terrible. It got to $350. It basically was a scam, and it imploded, went all the way back down to like $7 a share, and is now all the way back up to $258. This is just the craziest stock of all time. Planning on shorting that at some point, but just want to wait until it tops out again because I don't believe in the company or the model at all. Same thing with the RealReal. Definitely going to be shorting this at some point. It was only a couple of bucks not too long ago. Everything kind of went on a run after the election and after Trump won. So this one I think is super overvalued as well. If you look at their structure of their commissions and the way that they charge and compare that to like an eBay or another site like that, they charge an astronomical amount. Now they do focus on high-end goods, so maybe their clientele that's selling with them, maybe they can afford to pay those extra high fees, but their fee structure is absolutely ridiculous. So it's another company I don't really believe in long term, so probably going to short that one at some point, just haven't done it yet. And again, don't want to tie up a whole lot of this long term the balance that we have for the long term. So I'm trying to use this to kind of make some smaller plays, maybe 1 week out, 2 weeks out, and try to sell within a day or so to cash in and try to make a profitable trade, just to kind of run this balance up a little bit. And then we can take a portion of that balance. I probably should have done that when I got to 1400 that one day, take a portion of this balance and then be able to make some plays for a couple months out so that we can hold on to them a little bit longer. But I wanted to build up the balance first before we started making some longer term plays. And again, guys, everything that you hear in these videos, not necessarily investment advice for you. I am not a certified financial planner by any means, but I was a licensed investment advisor for Chase Bank a few years back. So I held my Series 6 and 63 investment licenses. I've managed my own portfolio for the last at least 6 or 7 years now. And this is not it, obviously. I've got that elsewhere. This is just some money I put in here to kind of have fun with some options trading and see what I can do. But again, this is very risky. It's not going to be like just buying and holding a company. This is going to be options trading. So there's going to be a lot more swings in this. And we're going to be looking at a lot more companies. Obviously, we've got some crypto and stuff here as well. So yeah, just kind of take this for what it is, just made for entertainment purposes to kind of track and see how we can do with the $700 starting balance. And hopefully you do get some information out of this too. Maybe it'll help you get into, options trading or just investing or saving for your own future, no matter what it is. So hopefully it'll help you in one way or another and you can learn something from this. But again, it's not investment advice. I'm not telling you to copy these plays or to do this or that it's a guarantee. As you can see from the balance here, everything fluctuates so much. You can go literally from, $600-$700 to several $1,000s, or the other way around, right? You can go from $1,500 to $500, $600, literally in a matter of an hour. I think it took for that balance to drop like that. So if you're looking to, kind of save for the long term and invest for your future, this is not the way to do it. But options trading can be a little bit fun, and if you learn about it, there's an opportunity to make some money as well. Okay, so if we are wanting to go like super short term, like if I wanted to make some 0 days or 1 days to expiration options, typically this is kind of where I come, right? Investco QQQ. We are about 4 minutes until the market opens here. So I'll kind of get an idea for what the market did yesterday, and kind of see what it's done over the last week. And then I'll come in this morning and kind of see what it's doing. So obviously it was down pretty good in the pre-market this morning. A couple notable companies that had earnings yesterday. Google was one of those, and it went down $15 a share, which was kind of a surprise because they did beat their earnings per share by a couple of cents. But I guess revenue out of their cloud services was not as anticipated, so it did go down. But as you can see, this thing's kind of making its way back up this morning. So that does not mean that trend is going to continue by any means. Obviously, if you're trading in a platform similar to this one, this is Robinhood, but obviously there's a lot of different brokerage firms out there and stuff. You can go into an advanced view. You can do advanced charts. You can look at candlesticks and do technical analysis. I don't really do as much of that. I mean, I'll look at it, and there's certain indicators that I like. RSI is one that I use. Obviously, you can look at the 50 and 200-day moving averages. There's a lot of things that you can look at, but we're just going to kind of stick to the basics here. I just kind of go off my instincts more than anything and just kind of see which way the market is going and kind of use the psychology around the market as a whole to make some of my trades. So like when, the tariffs were coming out and there was a lot of talk about those things, obviously we kind of knew that was going to affect the market negatively. So the market pulled back. And then once Trump had talks with Canada and Mexico, the market rebounded. So you can kind of play off of things like that too. There's a lot of different ways to do this. Everyone's kind of got their own strategy, but basically what we'll do here is we'll just kind of watch this when the market opens, and we'll see, what it's doing, which direction it's kind of moving here. And then you can decide if it moves sharply in one direction, you can either kind of get in early, try to ride that momentum and continue that, or you can try to wait until that momentum slows down or gets to a peak and then try to go the opposite direction, which I've kind of done a little bit of both. Usually try to wait until all the momentum caps out and then go the opposite direction. That's just kind of the play that I like. But again, you can kind of do whatever here. So we'll see how this opens up here. We got 2 minutes till the market opens. You can see it's 9:28 a.m. right now, Eastern time. And we'll go ahead and see. We'll go ahead and see what happens this morning, see if we can find a play. Again, it's not every day that we find a play or that we make some kind of a move, but we are going to try to find at least one trade per day that we can make and see if there's a way that we can profit from that. So we'll see. Obviously, we can check in on NVIDIA here. Obviously, if you follow the market at all, you know that over the last month, this thing's really gotten hammered because DeepSeek AI, the Chinese AI, came out and it kind of spooked investors. So this was all the way up at 140, 150 bucks. And then it just absolutely tanked out to 117, 118, rebounded pretty quickly to 128, but then a couple days ago, it actually bounced down to around 113, 114 intraday, and then has come back up a little bit now. So it looks like this morning it's up a little bit and it's back into the 120s. So that's kind of a good sign for the retail investors that pumped like $1 billion into this thing after it tanked, but we'll see if that trend continues. All right, I did want to just jump in for a quick second and show you guys this in-depth technical chart. So again, if you click on the advanced tab when you are on the chart for QQQ or another stock, it'll bring you into this graph so you can see you've got the actual stock price moving and then these two lines. So we did just make one more trade. I bought it when it was kind of like down here. It dipped just below 521. It went to 520 for a second. So I bought a 522 call, which as you can see, it just jumped to 522. So I probably should have held a little bit longer, but we bought one pretty cheap when it was down here. So it jumped down and then came back up. Now, typically when this 50-day moving average, this red line crosses above this 200-day moving average, it's a pretty good sign that things are turning around and going bullish. It's going to keep going up this way. So it's not necessarily an indicator, but I could be. So I saw that it was kind of trending back and it was getting pretty close there. So that's why I bought that, because it bottomed out and also that was coming in there. And then down here is the RSI. This is basically just an indicator of whether a stock is overbought or oversold. So you can keep an eye on things like that as well. But again, it dipped down. Let me go back to the main screen here. So we are, see if this refreshes here. Maybe. There we go. 677. So we made another, I don't know, what is that, like 10 bucks or something, 8 bucks, 12 bucks. I don't know. We made a little bit more. No, because we were only up $12. So we made another $11 there. So I do think the market's going to move up here. I'm just kind of watching this QQQ price to see how it's fluctuating here and see if we can kind of time the bottom. But I want to see if there's a way, and usually I'll kind of stick around this price, right? So if it's 521 now, either buy the 522 or 523 call, because those are the next prices it's going to get to. So if it gets over 521, you're going to see it. I'm sorry, if it gets over 522, you'll see a spike in price on this 523 call. So that's probably the one that I'm looking to target here, because I can buy it a little bit cheaper than the 522, but then I'll be able to make a decent amount as it goes up here. You see that price right there. It was down in the 130s and then it jumped to 145. So we'll keep an eye on this one. I'm probably going to place a buy order on this one, but I just wanted to see if the market was going to kind of hang down a little bit lower or if it was going to continue to rise here. I'd like to get it at the bottom, obviously, try to get this the cheapest I can. But if we go one contract, 144, 143, this will automatically default to kind of where the bid-ask price falls. But obviously, you can adjust that too. So if you see the price fluctuating, you can plug in your own price here and then submit your order. And depending on what you get, obviously, you can try to buy it a little bit cheaper because these will fluctuate even as the price stays the same. I think we are going to try to go ahead and pick one of these up at 150. All right, so we got contract purchased. I wish this thing would scroll up a little bit. So we got one contract purchase for 148 right now, and you can see the price is already at 154, 155. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm probably going to do a little bit of this on my phone too, because I like the I like being able to see it on my screen, and I can kind of watch things a little bit closer. It feels like. Actually, did it purchase that? I don't know if it purchased that. Yeah, there it goes. All right. So yeah, this is the first time actually trading on my computer here, because I wanted to do the screen record and everything so I can make a video out of this. But you can see right here the balance is starting to climb up a little bit already, right over here, right? So that's the value of the contract. So we bought it for 148. Now it's worth 158. So we can kind of keep an eye on that, and you'll see. I mean, this thing fluctuates pretty quickly, so you'll see the price really start to change as it goes. So right now I'm watching it on my phone. Price is already at 164, so we paid 148, so we're up 16 bucks. You'll see this balance update here, and you'll see that. So we could sell this right now, and we've held on to it basically for 4 or 5 minutes, and we've already made 16 or 18 bucks. But I do think the price is going to keep moving up here for a little bit, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. Obviously, if there's a time that we want to get out, we can do that as well. So we'll just keep an eye and kind of see how some of these other stocks are doing. I like to go back and forth between Invesco QQQ and the other individual stocks that are tied to that fund. Amazon's still down. It's kind of looking like it's at its lowest point, so I'm hoping that once that pulls back, that'll help drive QQQ up. Same with Tesla. It just kind of bottomed out for the day, but it looks like it's rebounding back. You can see obviously right there, right? The market pulled back a little bit, so this balance is going to fluctuate. So we went from up 16, 18 bucks. Now we're down $3 or $1. So, but I feel like we got it at a pretty good price. Invesco QQQ is still staying above 522 for the time being. It looks like it's got some good momentum going forward. So hopefully this thing will run up. If it goes to like 523, I mean, you'll see we'll probably make like 40 or 50 bucks relatively quickly. But obviously we could lose money as well. So we'll just kind of stay tuned and I'll update you. This is again another reason why I like the cell phone view a little bit better, just because it's kind of easier to navigate, honestly. And then right at the top, underneath of your balance, kind of in this section, it has a realized profit and loss section too, so you can go in and see. So like today, we bought that call, 522 call for $128 and sold it for $140 in literally about 30 seconds. So we made 12 bucks. Again, just kind of going with some smaller trades today. You may also notice here in my buying power that money is not going back in there. That's because in the US, if you want to day trade, which means you want to buy and sell the same item in the same day more than 3 times in 5 business days, you can only do that if you've got an account that's got $25,000 in there. So this is a way you can kind of get around that and kind of you have some more limitations, but you can kind of get around that, right? So I can do as many day trades as I want because I changed this to a cash account. So what that means is when I buy and sell something like I just did, I have to wait for these funds to settle again before it's back into my buying power. So today I've made trades with a portion of my balance, and I have to wait for that to become available again before it goes back into my total. So I still have 387 that I can use today. If I find another trade, I can make a trade with that amount, but that's it. And then I've got to wait for this money to settle. Now, the nice thing with Robinhood is it only takes until tomorrow morning. So if I make those trades today, this amount that I've used, the unsettled funds, 289, will get added back in my balance, and I'll have the full 677 in there tomorrow morning ready to trade again. So that's kind of the nice thing about Robinhood is that they give you that pretty quickly. You've got access to the money again. So I can do like, 2 or 3 day trades today, then I can do 2 or 3 tomorrow, 2 or 3 the next day, and I'm always getting the money back the next morning ready to trade again. But if you just had a regular account that was not a cash account, you can only do 3 day trades in 5 business days. So once you hit 3, then you're done. You have to wait several more days. So if you do 3 in one day, that's kind of how I got to this point. I did 3 in one day, and then I was capped out. I couldn't do anything else. So I just flipped it to a cash account. That way I can do it. Now I just have to wait for these to be settled. So, I mean, really the way that they give you the funds back and you have access to them in your account, you could pretty much do, I mean, with this balance too, I usually trade around $100, $150 per trade. So, maybe I could do 3 per day. If I was trading something that was smaller and cheaper, I could do more of them. So, I could do 3 per day. Essentially, I could do about 15 per week now, whereas before I could only do 3. So this has opened it up for me where I can make more trades now. So we'll see over the long term if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I also didn't have to deposit 25 grand in here to be able to trade with. So I can start with this little $700 balance. We can try to run it up, see what happens. All right, a couple things that I wanted to point out too. So I do have a couple of rules for myself while doing this. And number one is don't risk too much of the balance, obviously, on one trade. And the other one is don't try to make up for losses. So as you can see, this thing is all the way back. It's all the way to 523 now. So I was in here and I had my finger on this. I was about to buy this 522 call because it was at 521.50. I typed in 150. That's what it was. I submitted, and then it went to like 153, 154. So it didn't buy it. And if I had gotten it for 150, look, the price is already over $200. So we would have made $50 or $60 on that one contract, literally in about 3 minutes. But I missed out on it. It dipped to 149, 150, and I submit 150, and then it jumped to 150 like 2 or 3, and we just missed it. So don't want to jump in and buy this one now at 212 now that it's already used a bunch of that momentum. But yeah, that was kind of brutal because I was sitting there watching that thing. And I had it. I thought I was on it and was going to make that trade. And then before you know it, the price started jumping. And there's nothing I can do about it. See this nice little spike here? So this is 925. This is 1001. So within that last half hour. But this was literally just a few minutes ago. I mean, this is 521.67. It was there at probably 9:57, 9:58, and it's 10:01. So it's been 4 minutes. But you can see too. See, it already lost steam. So that's what I mean by don't chase it. If I missed the trade, I missed the trade, but don't buy it now, because if I would have just bought it a second ago thinking, okay, the momentum's still going to keep up, it was up, it touched 523, the price did for a second. So that contract was at like 215, and now it's probably back below 200. So if just because we miss it at 150 and it runs up to 210 or 215 doesn't mean we should buy it at 215. So, you want to be aggressive with this, but you also want to make sure that you're not wrecking yourself intentionally too, right? And just chasing those opportunities. So if there's a trade that's not there, don't make the trade. If you see something that's really good, there's a company that's there that you believe is going to rebound or is going to have a good day or something like that, go ahead and make the trade. But, if it's something that you saw that was there and then you missed it, and so you're trying to just make a trade to make up for what you lost, don't do that. That's how you're going to lose money for sure. So this one, Amazon, man, I'm thinking, I was thinking it was really going to rebound off of this. I don't know that we want to go with Amazon options, though, just because it's so close to earnings. So the premiums and everything are going to be so high for this. Because again, they've got earnings tomorrow after hours. So you can see if you wanted to buy a 240 strike price, which is the next one that's like technically out of the money here because it's above this line, the price is at 237. So the next price it gets to is 240. Well, now it's 237.50 because the price dropped, but it was 240. The next one out of the money, $675 if you wanted to buy that contract. And again, this is for February 7th, which is 2 days expiration. That's this Friday. That's usually what they are, is every Friday. And you can see if you were to go out to next Friday, the 240 strike price is only 770. So it's not a big price difference from this Friday to next Friday. And that's because these premiums get elevated around earnings because everyone is anticipating a move one way or the other. And so you've got to pay, more money if you think it's going to move. So like if I thought for sure that the price was going to be, it's 237 now, and if I thought after hours today it was going to pop to at least 250, I could buy this 250 strike price at $395, and then I need it to be 253.90. So again, this expiration is for February 14th, but if it popped over 253.90, this price would jump quite a bit because I would be in the money then. So let's say that the price ended up around 253 or 254. This 390 is probably going to become somewhere around what this is now, because it would be one strike in the money. So it would be around $1,000. So definitely some money to be made there. But again, you need a big move. You can see here, if you're buying a 250 strike price, you need the strike price to go up 7%. You need the price to move up 7% in a relatively short time just to hit that, which is obviously a huge move. If it's not around earnings. Around earnings, just stocks can pop or they can drop 10+% pretty easily based on the earnings call. But if it was just under regular circumstances, you wouldn't want to buy something for 2 days out or even 9 days out that needs to move 7 or 8%, unless there's a lot of volatility and there's some good news, a good article or something that just got released for the company, and so that makes you really believe that it's going to move that much. But that's pretty non-typical for stocks. They're not going to move 7, 8, 9% in a day or 2 days if it's not for earnings or some kind of great article that comes out that says that the company just released a new proprietary software or something like that, or maybe they signed on a new partner. Or I'll give you another example from a couple of weeks ago, another one that I missed out on. I bought some puts on Walgreens from I guess this was a Thursday to a Friday, or maybe a Wednesday to a Thursday night. I bought some puts on Walgreens because I think Walgreens is going to end up going out of business ultimately. But bought some puts on Walgreens, bought them for $33. Got to the end of the day, the price had dipped a little bit, so I was in the money. I sold them for a small profit. It was like maybe $10 or something like that. And then as soon as the market closes, an article comes out that says that Walgreens is being investigated and I think potentially sued. I can't remember exactly. There was like a lawsuit or something that said that they had released some opioids out into the market, and so that drove the stock price down immediately after close, like $1.50 or $2 a share, and it's only like a $10 stock. Let me see if I can find it on here. So this drove the price down $1.50 or $2. I think it was right here. So I had these, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I went from 11:51 to 11:47. So I sold. And then immediately after the market closes, you can see this thing just drops like a rock. And then the next morning, look at this, at 9 a.m. it was $10.18. And I had an 11.50 strike price for like the following Friday. So if I just waited until the morning, I paid $33 per option contract and I had 5. So I spent 150 bucks. In the morning, they were worth 150 a piece. So if I would have just held overnight, and if I knew that article was coming out, because I had no idea, but if I had known that that was coming out, obviously could have held this overnight, could have made $150 per contract, 5 times my money. So the $150 investment obviously would have been awesome. Would have made like 750 bucks. But anyways, that comes and goes sometimes, and you miss out on things like that. And as you can see, the price has kind of stayed down in that $10 range ever since then. But yeah, you can just kind of pick up on things like that, or maybe maybe I knew subconsciously that article was coming out, but obviously had no knowledge of it and wish I would have held my contract overnight. But Nvidia too, I'm kind of curious what this is going to do. Obviously, it's having a great morning so far, but I was kind of curious if this thing was going to pop because it did get hammered over this last week. Came down. Should have bought yesterday morning. I was kind of watching it. Look at this. February 12th. That's 9 p.m. though. We got to go during business hours. I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah, February 3rd. So that was 2 days ago, 10 a.m. 114. Should have jumped in there and bought some of that because now it's all the way back to 122, 123. So it's almost up $9 a share from where it was on that low. So there's always opportunities, guys. Just keep your eyes out, and hopefully we can find another trade to make here today. Okay, we bought one final call option for today. We're not doing 0 days to expiration. We're going to do 1 day to expiration on this one, but I bought a 524 call on Invesco QQQ expiring tomorrow. I just think there's several indicators that I think this thing's going to move higher. And some of those main ones, honestly, just being the contributors to QQQ. If you keep an eye on this thing, so you've got Apple is down 1.5% today. Microsoft is down, although not as much. Amazon is down 2% today. Tesla is down 2.82% today. Google is down 8.53% today. So if some of those just start making a rebound here, it's going to send this price higher. You can see already we're in the money on that. I got a pretty good price on it because I waited and waited and waited for the price to come down to what I wanted and bought the call option for 190 bucks. It expires tomorrow. It's already worth 205, 206. So I'm just going to kind of ride this out. I bought tomorrow's expiration so I can see kind of how the afternoon goes because I think the afternoon will continue to push up. I could be wrong, but I definitely think that some of those are going to start pulling back and start moving up. Amazon's got earnings today after hours, so I would expect this afternoon to at least have a run up. And if it doesn't, I think it might go up after hours. And then again, Tesla being down 2.8%. It's been getting hammered lately on some bad news with sales and stuff like that. So I think it'll come back. Same thing with Google, down 8.6%. Earnings yesterday was perfectly fine. I mean, there wasn't really anything wrong, but the stock dumped $15 a share, $16 a share. So I'm just going to go ahead and sit on this one for a while, and I'll come back and let you guys know if there's any kind of an update. All right, well, it didn't last long. It's only been about another 5 minutes, but we did go ahead and sell out. So you can see we must have bought that around 10:30, and then it's 10:37 right now, so 7 minutes. We're up 38 bucks for the day, up 5%. We're above $702. So again, with this being the $700 bankroll challenge, I figured since we crossed that threshold today and we made a little bit of money, we might as well stop there for the day. We do still have buying power of 197 bucks, so maybe I'll find another trade today, but probably just going to stop there. So as you can see, I've only been trading, so the market's been open for 1 hour because it opens at 9:30. It's now 10:30. So we made 38 bucks in 1 hour. Just sitting here looking at my computer, making a couple small trades. So nothing wrong with that. We'll certainly take that. We had a small win again yesterday as well. We were down around the $600 mark in the last couple of days, but now we're back to 700. So we've made 100 bucks. And I really haven't been too aggressive. I've just kind of been scalping a couple things that I saw that I thought were a pretty good deal. So yeah, we will certainly take that. Again, that was QQQ calls for today. I'll keep an eye on this, see if I want to make any more trades, but we're probably just going to stop there for the first episode. We're back above the $700 mark, which is where we wanted our starting balance to be for this challenge. So I'm going to stop there. Hopefully you guys like this. If you've got any questions or any comments about this, please drop those in the comments. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.